Welcome to the VOIPo vPanel walkthrough. The VOIPo vPanel is your control panel to controlling the various features included with your VOIPo phone service. You can also check your voicemail and send faxes from within the vPanel. To get started, at the top of the VOIPo website, you'll see a vPanel login menu. You can also scroll to the bottom of the front page and you will find a control panel login link. I like to bookmark this link and then I can go straight to it. Enter your username and password to log in. Now I might mention that VOIPo's announced that they will be doing a complete redo of the vPanel shortly, so the look may change, but most of the features should remain the same. At the top, have a tab bar and then a sub-menu bar underneath it. Let's start by talking about directory assistance. You got two choices, premium or free. I suggest you stick with free. It uses the Bing 411 service, which is a really good voice recognition service that gives you lots of info, and it doesn't cost anything. Caller ID blocking. You can choose to send your caller ID info, mark your calls as private, or don't send any caller ID info at all with your outgoing calls. Do not disturb. If you don't want your phones to ring, you can choose to have incoming calls given a busy signal or sent to voicemail. I have mine being sent to voicemail currently, so the phone doesn't ring while I'm making this video. Blocking private calls. You can allow blocked calls to come through. You can block calls that are marked as private, or you can block all unknown calls, that is, calls that don't have any associated caller ID info. You can choose to block or allow international calls. Call forwarding is great if you are going to be away. You can have your VOIPo number forwarded to another number. I occasionally will forward mine to my cell phone when I'm going to be gone for a while and want people to still be able to get a hold of me. Failover number. In case there is a problem, perhaps your internet's gone down, perhaps your power's out. If for whatever reason VOIPo can't get the phone numbers to you or phone calls to you, this tells them what to do. They can either send those calls straight to voicemail, or they can fail it over to another phone number. I have mine set to my cell phone number, so in case my VOIPo service goes down for whatever reason, I'll get my calls on my cell phone. Telemarketer block can be enabled or disabled. This is anytime you or any VOIPo user marks a phone number as spam, goes into their database, and calls from those numbers won't get through to you if you have the telemarketer block enabled. Call routing is a way to route numbers from specific groups or specific people to specific places. For example, if you have a crazy ex who calls you all the time, you can have them receive a busy signal so they can just keep dialing away and never get through. They'll just wonder why you're on the phone all the time. Someone you really hate, you can give them this number's been disconnected message. If it's a really important call, you can have that number forwarded to another number to make sure you get it. Outbound routes have a number of options. The most common would be to forward it. This is basically speed dial. You can type in a 1 and have phone number outnumbering call number 1 forwarded to, and put in a phone number in here. That way you just dial 1 and it speed dials to that number, and you can create a virtually unlimited number of speed dials that way. Contacts is your phone book within the vPanel. You can create any number of groups and have them full of people, and you can use that within your call routing. Fax, there's actually two places to do faxes within the vPanel. VOIP is Voice over Internet Protocol. It works really well with voice, not so well with data, aka fax machines. VOIPo gets around that by giving you a free outgoing fax service. You can scan a file on your scanner and save it to your computer and choose that file and send it to a fax number, and you have free outgoing faxes. For incoming faxes, you can get a custom fax number just for incoming faxes. It runs about $36 a year currently, $3 a month, and your incoming faxes will be sent to your email as a PDF file if you have need of an incoming fax. Devices is simply a list of devices on your service. I have two listed because my ATA has a line 1 and a line 2. If you have additional devices, bring your own devices or what have you, they will be listed here. It's just for your information. Virtual numbers you can order here and they will all be listed. The neat thing about virtual numbers is that you can get any number of numbers and have them forwarded to your VOIPo service. A cool use for this would be if you have parents, in-laws, other family members in another state and they don't call you much because they can't afford the long distance and they haven't upgraded to VOIPo. You can get a virtual number in their local area, so all they have to do is dial your virtual number, which is a local call to them, and it will ring through to your VOIPo service. You can also use it to make it appear as if you're somewhere else. If you have an office in the big city but spend most of your time at a home office in the burbs, you can get a virtual number in the big city and it will appear to people that they are calling the city office and not your house. Preferences. There's a number of preferences you can set. You can set the volume level on your ATA. I suggest you leave it at the default. Soft phone and BYOD is bring your own device. If you want to use a soft phone, which is a software telephone on perhaps your laptop or your Android or iPhone, you can install software and use the credentials here to hook it up to your VOIPo service. BYOD is bring your own device. If you want to use something other than the ATA provided by VOIPo, you can use your own hardware. Maybe it's a IP phone or what have you. You can use the credentials here to enable that hardware. PIN, I'm not going to click on, as that's a security feature, and it's where you enter a PIN number of your own choosing, so that if you have reason to call VOIPo on the phone, they will use that PIN number to verify you are who you are before they start talking about anything personal. And display just lets you change a few display features of the vPanel. And finally, password lets you change the password you use to log into the vPanel. Call history is a history of every phone call you make or receive with your VOIPo service. It has a nice search feature. If you have reason to need your various to know your various calls, like perhaps you're a lawyer and you bill per minute for your phone calls, you can use this for your billing. Voicemail. This is where you can access your voicemail. If I had voicemail, it would be listed here and I could click on it to listen to it. You can select your mailbox for your various VOIPo numbers here. Update MWI is your message waiting indicator. If your phone has a light on it, like mine does, that lets you know when you have voicemail, This is a way to turn the light off when you listen to it here rather than using your phone to do so. You can disable your voicemail if you want. Set your this is your password for your voicemail. Auto login allows you to set devices, for example your cell phone, to be able to get into your voicemail without having to enter the password. You can set the number of rings before your calls go to voicemail. You can also enter an email address, and you'll receive an email notification every time you receive a voicemail. And you can also choose to have a copy of the voicemail attached to the email as a WAV file, so you can listen to your voicemail on your email. You can also choose to enter a SMS or cell phone number here to receive text message notification every time you receive a voicemail. You can also choose to create boxes and move your voicemails around if you want to save them. E911 is your 911 service. Now this is really important to keep this updated with your current information. If you ever have to dial 911 on your VOIPo service, this is the information that will be sent to the emergency responders. Because the VOIPo service is portable, if you move, you can take it with you and plug it into your new residence. Make sure you update this information when you do so. Beta features are some additional features with the VOIPo service. Here's beta fax, like the fax I showed you earlier, but with a few more choices added. You can have different size paper. You can also have email notifications where you'll receive an email to let you know that the fax has in fact gone through successfully. Simulring, also known as Find Me, is a neat way to have multiple phone numbers all ring when someone calls your VOIPo number. And you have a choice. You can either have all the phone numbers you enter rung at once, or you can have them ring in order. You can set the phone numbers in order, the number of ring seconds before it moves on to the next number, and the service will continue on down the line until it is answered, hopefully. Distinctive ringing. You can enter a phone number and enter a distinctive ringtone. That saves you from having to get up off the couch when the phone rings. If you give important phone numbers a special ringtone, you can hear that it's important and know to get up without having to look at the caller ID. SMS controls, there's actually another menu for this as well, but this is where you can add mobile phone numbers and use them within the various features of the VOIPo vPanel. Call recording. Sometimes you need to record a phone call for whatever reason. To record outgoing phone calls, you simply dial *28 and then the phone number, and the call will be recorded. If you choose to enter an email address, the recording will be sent to your email. It will also be saved down here at the lower part of this page, and they will be saved for 7 days. If you have someone important calling you or someone nasty calling you, you want to record their calls when they call, enter their phone number, and that number will be automatically recorded when you receive a call from them. Some miscellaneous settings. Again, you can set your the number that shows on your outbound caller ID. So if you have number of numbers, virtual numbers, you can choose which number will show up. You can even put in your mobile number if you want to have that show on your outbound caller ID. Your FX port control sounds geeky, but it really isn't. On the back of your supplied hardware device sent to you by VOIPo is provisions for connecting two phones, line 1 and line 2. If you've only connected one phone, you can disconnect the second line. You also have a choice of enabling or disabling call waiting on either line. I like to have call waiting. Because the two lines are a cloned line, they work in unison. They're not totally separate lines. So when, for example, a call comes in, both line 1 and line 2 will ring. If you answer line 1 and are talking on that line when a second call comes in, line 2 will ring, and if you have call waiting enabled, line 1 will get the call waiting notification. And so you have a choice at that time of either picking up line 2 to answer the call or flashing over using the flash function on your call waiting to pick it up on line 1. When you do have both lines in use, you have two calls going at the same time and another comes in, they will get a busy signal, and you have a choice of giving them a busy signal or sending them straight to voicemail. This is another mobile phone menu for entering mobile phone numbers into your VOIPo system. This is the one I recommend using, as it has the provisions to verify your mobile phone number to make sure that you actually do own that phone, and you also can toggle the auto login to your voicemail on the various mobile numbers that you enter here. And again, this is another caller ID outbound number selection where you can select the caller ID outbound information you want to send when you make a call. Scheduling. This is a really cool feature. If you hate getting late night calls, you can simply set a schedule that at night you will phone calls will go to do not disturb, and you can send them a busy signal, or what I would do, send them to voicemail. Perhaps you work at night and people keep calling you during the day and they don't know you're asleep during the day. You can schedule do not disturb during the hours you like to sleep during the day. Billing is a list of your billing information. I'm not going to click it so I don't have to fuzz out all my billing information, but it will tell you when your service is up, what you've paid for long distance, what have you. I should say international calling, since that's the only long distance that you would have. Your virtual numbers, what have you, all your billing information will be listed there. Support. This is if you have any questions for VOIPo, VOIPo at all, you can create a ticket here. If you've got a problem, definitely create a new ticket here. But if you have any questions at all about the service, just create a ticket. It's basically like sending an email, and they will get back to you really fast. Their service is really great. And so be sure and use the ticket function if you have any questions about your service. So that is the vPanel. I hope you know what it's all about. And if you have any more questions, be sure to visit my website, funphone.com. Thank you for watching.